Am I the a-hole for getting extremely angry at my husband after he was late for our son's camp? I am a 34-year-old female and have been married to my husband, a 37-year-old male, for 8 years. We have 3 children, ages 6, 4, and when I had a cousin's baby shower on the same weekend, my son was going to an overnight camp. I knew it would be challenging for my husband to manage taking him to camp with all 3 children, so I arranged childcare for the youngest. I also packed everything and laid it out for the camp. I left at 10:00 a.m., and the kids had ball hockey from 11:30 to 12:30, then needed to be at camp by 6:30 p.m. There was nothing else planned for the rest of the day. I asked him to give the kids a bath after ball hockey because they got muddy. At 3:30 p.m., I left the baby's shower and informed him I would be back by 5:20 and to meet me at my parents' place at that time, which was closer to the camp location. At 5:15 p.m., I texted him, and he said the kids were still getting dressed, so I had to get my mom to drive me back to our house. By then, it was already after 5:30 p.m., and the kids were just getting outside with soaking wet hair. He said he put them in the bath a long time ago, but could not get them out. I was very upset because, as a parent, he should have been able to manage that. On the way there, already late, I asked where my son's scout neckerchief was, which was required for identification, and he said he forgot it, even though I had set it out with the rest of his required clothing. He also mentioned he did not know our son wore one, despite taking him to scouts every week. When we arrived, he had also forgotten to bring our son's jacket or even a sweater, and we are in Ontario where it is still cold. I was so frustrated that I did not talk to him the whole way home. He claims I am the a-hole for losing my temper and ruining our night, saying he does more than most fathers. I am just exhausted from having to manage everything, planning and packing every single thing, yet still dealing with forgetfulness and lateness. I asked what he did all day, and he said he cleaned and tried to install a light in our son's room. But the light was in the exact same spot I left it, and the house was messy when I got home. I am just tired of having all this responsibility fall on me and still facing issues like this. So, Reddit, am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. The statement, "he does more than most fathers," alone makes my blood boil. Not only do you have to leave everything ready and tell him what to do, but he still managed to mess up. I would understand if it was the first time or something, but after 8 years, come on. Am I the a-hole for canceling my mom's surprise farewell dinner because she called me messy? Hello, Reddit. English is not my first language, but I will try my best. My mom, who is 59 years old, and I, who am 27 years old, have been living together for the past 10 months. I say living together because I am only home 2-3 days a week. I usually stay at work or with my boyfriend. She moved with me to Europe from Latin America. It was hard for her to adjust at first, but she is active and has built a little community here. She is retired and brought some savings to live and travel, and when she moved in, I started covering rent and bills. I am lucky to have a good job and was okay with supporting her. We do not have the best relationship. I felt free for the first time when I moved out at 20, but I still wanted to be there for her. We share my room, I have roommates, and she has been living with me while we handled some long paperwork processes. Now she is going back to our home country, so I planned a surprise Apereisna small dinner party at a restaurant with family and friends. The idea was to tell her we were going shopping so she would not suspect anything. I was getting ready, and to be fair, I can be messy when picking an outfit. I lay clothes everywhere. I eventually picked something, did my makeup, and suggested we leave early to take pictures at the park since the flowers are blooming. Suddenly, she said we could not leave because I had to clean up. I told her I would do it when we got back, but she insisted. You always say that and never do it. You are arrogant and disrespectful. I cannot talk to you. I offered to clean right then, but she kept going, calling me stuck up, maybe just because I was dressed nicely. It hurt. A lot. I started crying. It brought back bad memories from how she treated me growing up. I called my boyfriend and cousin because I was so upset. Then I told her, "You have no right to talk to me like that. I never disrespect you. That stuck-up daughter of yours planned something really nice for you today, and now you are making me feel ashamed when I have spent so much time and money." She responded, "I am not going." I was furious. I canceled everything. 15 minutes later, she came back and said, "Let us go." But I was emotionally done. I told her, "No, it is canceled," and left to see my boyfriend. It has been a day. We are not talking. I have gotten mixed opinions. Part of me feels guilty. This was supposed to be a good memory for both of us. But I also feel really hurt. So, am I the a-hole for canceling the dinner? You are not the a-hole. You offered to clean up to resolve the problem so you could go, but then she continued with her rant before saying she did not want to go. I would have canceled everything too. Plus, you can hardly continue to go to the party as if nothing happened after already canceling everything. Edit, I forgot the word go. Laugh out loud. Am I the a-hole? My husband has not spoken to me for 3 weeks. So about 3 weeks ago, my husband was talking about his diet, and I mentioned that he should have more fiber in it. He asked, "How do I get more fiber?" And although I thought we both have access to Google, I did not want to be rude. So I replied with the answers, and then he said, "You would not make meals like that for me, would you?" I responded, "I am your wife, not your mother." He said it was an extremely rude thing to say and has not spoken to me in over 3 weeks. For context, we have 3 children, and he is only here for a day and a half a week as he works away. He would have expected me to bulk cook on the weekend for him to take with him. My response was not meant to be hurtful, and I have not apologized because I genuinely meant it. We have been together for 15 years, and it genuinely made me feel so resentful. The way he said it and his expression seemed like he was trying to manipulate me. He can never be bothered to research or implement changes for his health, even though he is a highly intelligent and capable man. I guess I feel frustrated because he will pour everything into work, 15-hour days, etc. But on the home front, the everyday tasks all fall on me. This is not the first time he has gone silent, but I usually always try to make peace or apologize. This time I have not. It is just so awkward, and the longer it goes on, the more resentful I feel. He is pretty much my only solid adult interaction in person, both physically and mentally, and I feel super alone. I also feel sorry for him because he must be really unhappy to inflict this on another person. Writing this has made me realize just how deeply unhappy I am with him. But anyway, am I in the wrong here? To add more context, he is on a salary and very high up in his company. He earns the same for a 40-hour or 80-hour work week. He is not paid by the hour, and overtime is not a thing for his role. No one is forcing him to work these hours. I work from home 6 to 8 hours a day on weekdays and a couple of hours on weekend days. Thank you for all your responses. I was not looking for validation of not being the one in the wrong. I know my comment was out of line and rude, regardless of my intent. However, I did not feel it justified 3 weeks, going on 4 of the cold shoulder. I guess I just wanted some differing viewpoints from others because sometimes you do not think rationally or fairly when you are in a situation, and I was beginning to question if I should apologize just to make peace. For clarity, he has a chef that makes his meals Monday through Friday, and I cook for the household on the weekends without any issues. The responses have given me a lot to think about. So if I am understanding correctly, he gets paid the same amount no matter how many hours he works, and he earns 6 figures. You, along with his family and his boss, have told him to relax and stop working so much. He works even during family vacations. He pays off loans from before your relationship, a vehicle, and helps his family financially. You are not sure what else he uses the money for. You work as well, while also caring for a teenager and 2 children under 6. All of the child-rearing and domestic tasks fall on you. You pay for food, toiletries, gas, electric, phones, clothing and footwear for the children, and other day-to-day expenses. You are not in the wrong. The man is willingly allowing you to struggle with all of the work involved in actually raising a family, and then has the nerve to be upset that you are not going out of your way to make sure he has fiber in his diet. Am I the a-hole for refusing to make my daughter apologize to a girl she made upset? My daughter, who is 11 years old, had a soccer game today, and I, a 39-year-old male, was able to take her. I also gave a ride home to one of her teammates, an 11-year-old girl, after the game. This girl and my daughter are kind of friends, but they are not very close. In my opinion, the girl can be somewhat mean at times, and she was during the ride home. My wife and I still have our daughter use a high-back booster seat, even though it is not a legal requirement at her age in our state, whereas this girl does not use one. The girl started making fun of my daughter's booster seat, saying things like, "You are a big baby, and you sit in a baby seat." My daughter got upset, but then told the girl, "I like my booster seat. I can see out the window much better than you can with it. And I have my own seat in the car just for me, with my own cup holders and a special place for my snacks." She then showed the girl the secret compartment in her booster seat where she keeps her snacks and sometimes toys. This made the girl stop teasing my daughter about her booster seat, and the rest of the ride went fine. We dropped the girl off at her house and then went home. Later, I received a call from the girl's mother. She was furious with me, saying her daughter came home and said my daughter was very mean to her and made fun of her for not having a booster seat. I told her that her daughter was not being very nice, and maybe if she were nicer to my daughter, this would not have happened. Unfortunately, this only made her angrier. She said I was a terrible father and insisted I make my daughter apologize to her daughter, but I still refused because I do not think my daughter has anything to apologize for. Since then, she has sent me a few angry text messages demanding I make my daughter apologize. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. I have a 10-year-old who is still in a high-back booster because she is the size of an average 7-year-old. She is absolutely required by state law to be in one due to her size. She is very self-conscious about it, though. She prefers to never be seen in the car, refuses to be dropped off in the car line, and is very reluctant to have others in our car unless she is sure they will respect her enough not to comment. I would have told the snotty girl, "My daughter has no say in what seat she sits in. This decision is between her mother and me. You need to keep your comments to yourself because it is not kind to comment on things people have no choice about, like their car booster or their parents' choices and rules." But your daughter stood up for herself very confidently. Bravo to her.